morning is that the NRL have forecast that by 2020, about 62% of the NRL is expected to be of Pacifica heritage. That's obviously just the men with the World Cup and the growing interest in the women's game. You know, that trend should only be multiplied. Our aspiration is to be the best club we can be for our current player base from all types of background, but also as we continue with these programs and our efforts around community engagement, we want to make sure that we build up a really strong understanding of the cultural nuances between different nations, different backgrounds, so that we can be the club of choice for people in Fiji, so that we can be the club of choice in the wider Pacific, and we can be the club of choice here in New South Wales and Australia.
Is this something that the players have been on board with, or they've been involved with?
To some extent, and quite recently. So the wonderful work that the core group do with the Sharks has included building out a Pacifica homestay program. Often some of the young aspiring superstars that come over from Pacific nations to stay in our area to trial and to move up through our squads. Often they find it hard to settle in and get used to Australian and Sydney life. So we've been building out a network of communities of families who are not necessarily all Pacific people themselves, but are people who are very open to learning about Pacific culture, who spend time with the core group and with our player wellbeing and education management to, really understand the nuances, differences of culture, and how you can really create that true home environment that's going to enable a young person to really thrive.
The player welfare officers, and a lot of them are of Pacific backgrounds because they're dealing with the players and they can relate to them. Have they had any involvement, or have you had any other clubs looking over your shoulder going, oh, that's a bit interesting, and kind of, thinking about it themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So I spent a bit of time chatting to Frank Pulatua, who's at the NRL and does a wonderful job there as the head of Pacific Strategy. In the football department, they have great links into all of the different football development managers. The other thing that was on a sort of a less structured basis was recently we were invited to the New South Wales Council for Pacific Communities annual awards. A couple of our NRL players were present, and that night we actually won 3 awards. And I don't say that to bang our drum, but rather just, again, it's encouraging that we seem to be listening to people and being guided to carry on doing the kind of things we're doing. Sam Tagtiti was one of the NRL stars present that night, and he turned around at one point and he looked at the 3 trophies on the table. And I'm obviously paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, wow, this is not only very special to see an NRL club, playing in this space and being recognised for it, but, he said, I've been in the NRL over 12 years and I've been through some stuff, I've seen some different things, but this is my club. You could just sense that real pride, and that sort of gave that special feeling again of encouraging to say, yes, we're doing some good stuff here, let's keep going.
So from Cronulla Sharks, and that's the latest edition of Daytime Pacific from RNZ International. I'm Dominic Godfrey, Tofa Soifua.
Falava from RNZ International. You can hear RNZ International in Samoa, Niue and Tonga. RNZ International, the voice of the Pacific.
New Zealand International. Please. kHz in the 22-meter band. 40 kHz band.